Hey guys, welcome to Joe Seminary Presents. I'm Joe Seminary. Today we're going to be talking about marketing a film. How do you market a film with a very, very little budget? Let's define a very little budget. It's between $2,000 to $5,000. Okay, if you had $10,000, you could just apply this, double time. But for the reality of it, most filmmakers are going to have about up to $5,000 to market a film. What does that mean for what the budget of the film should be? Well, if you're going to be spending on $5,000 on marketing, and marketing is your most important asset when rolling out with a film, you probably want to be at about a $2,000 to $2,500 level, maybe $5,000 for the entire production of your budget. And I say that, and many of you might say, oh, I need $1 million budget, but I'm going to tell you that even a year ago, the industry has dramatically changed with payouts. Dramatically. I mean, 3 years ago, you used to be able to sell a movie to Redbox and collect $35,000. I mean, those days are over. So, the big wigs like Amazon and everyone else has totally rechanged their structure on how they pay out with filmmakers, which is totally garbage. But that's a reality. And if you can't get a hold on it and you can't get used to it, you're going to find yourself by yourself. So I think it's very important that you have a strategic plan and say to yourself, $10,000 is all you're going to be spending for a movie that might yield you $40,000, over the course of a year and a half to 2 years. It's amazing how these numbers are just starting to dip, and dip. But there are other platforms that are starting to be introduced. I won't say what they are right now because I haven't done the research. I don't want to lead anybody down the wrong path. But there are some VOD outlets that are opening up that are better. So let's get to the marketing. What's the best way to market? Should I buy Facebook ads? Should I invest in Instagram? Should I pay for TV commercials? Should I pay for billboards, posters, mall posters, etc.? I mean, none of those are bad. The question is, how much do each of them cost? It would be great to get exposure and not spend any money, but let's face it, that's sort of impossible. You have to figure out how you can promote your movie for most inexpensive way possible, and I've researched that to the gills. I consider myself a master in the art of marketing, and you can take advantage of stuff called bumper ads, and I talk about that in my course. I'll give you a little insight here now. Bumper ads are Google Analytics advertising, where your first 6 seconds of your video gets shown 1,000 times, 1,000 impressions. So if you bid on 50 cents per 1,000, impressions, which basically means 1,000 times it'll show on somebody's laptop, mobile computer, smart TV, etc., that's what you're going to be paying. And that is an extremely cost-effective way to market a film. You could put keywords in there. If you're doing horror films, you could put horror films, different tags. There's filters all over the place, and there's 1,000 YouTube videos to help you set that up if you don't know what you're doing with that. But bumper ads on Google Analytics, or Google AdWords, I should say, is probably the most cost-effective way of advertising a movie. I do it all the time. I put 90% of the movie's money in the marketing budget, and that's definitely something that brings brand awareness to a film. Every time I run one of those, there's no doubt somebody calls me and like, hey man, your movie just popped up on my phone. Well, no, it didn't just pop up on your phone. I paid for it to get there. So, but that's a good trick to the trade. Second, should you advertise on Facebook? No. I tell you that I lost a lot of money advertising on Facebook. It did nothing. It looked pretty good when you look at the graphs and how much people it reached, but it didn't turn into or antiquate into any kind of sales. Nobody was buying the movie. It's a tough thing when you sit down and you realize, that it's great to get the eyeballs. You can get millions and millions and millions of people, but you have to turn that into sales. You have to, for everybody that watches that, you want that ROI to come back on your sales return as they purchase the movie. So how do you do that? Well, if it's in their face constantly, chances are they'll be interested in seeing it. If they see an ad once or twice, they might not be, apt to run to the VOD outlet and buy the movie unless you're Stanley Kubrick, or unless you're M. Night, or somebody who's got a very, very good following and you like their stuff. Short of that, you need to put your movie in people's faces and do it as many times as possible for the least amount of money. So how do you do that? Bumper ads, because everybody's watching their cell phones, everybody's watching TV and stuff like that. So that's, I think, another good thing is Facebook groups. Facebook groups don't cost you anything. And if you are tight with some of the actors and actresses in your movie, directors, producers, etc., you can get their support to join Facebook groups in that category. Let's say you're doing a documentary on nature or something like that. There's a ton of nature things and different kind of groups that you can be. If you're a horror junkie, there's probably 50,000 horror groups out there. But the bottom line is, strategically sit down with you and your cast and your crew and decide, who's going to be posting in the groups and if you're allowed to post in the groups. But groups are a great way to reach 30, 40, 50,000 people or more. It is a great way to get your stuff out there, and also network. There's always somebody in those groups that are looking for something. They might need help with something. They might like your style. They might want to hire you to do a movie. All good things can come out of, being, out there. I always say, if you're not out there, you're nowhere, because nobody's going to find you. And if you think you're so good that someone's going to knock at your door and say, hey, I want your movie on Netflix, that doesn't happen. So, on this channel, we teach reality skills and reality survival. And the reality is, get your stuff out there so that you can open up doors, people can see the project, because there's no doubt that what you're making is great. You just got to get the people to see it. I mean, Ted Turner said, work like hell and advertise. Even at his stage of the game, you advertise. You got to get your stuff out there. So those are the two areas where if you're not looking to spend a lot of money, and that's really the topic of today's video, is how not to break the bank with marketing. Because look, short of you, let's say you didn't have a distributor and you sold your movie for $3.99. After all the fees on the platform, wherever you're at, maybe $3.50 comes back to you. So it was for $3.99, now you're stuck with $3.50. That's great. So keep in mind, really whatever way that you decide to go, try those two avenues out. I think that you're going to get really good results from it. Love the Facebook ads, love the Google bumper ads. Would I do any display ads? Would I do any other ads on Google? No, I wouldn't, because you can't. Look at the return you're going to get on your investment. You for every 1,000 times a bumper ads plays, you get charged what you bid. And a lot of times, you can get bids to go through for like 50 cents or $1. Especially if your market is outside of the United States, forget it. You could probably bid 20 cents. For every 1,000 times your ad's going to pop up, and what do? You put a 6-second ad in there saying, hey, go see my movie, it's available on Amazon or whatever. You want to drive these people to see the platform. And we definitely should do another video going forward on how to get these apps to be on these platforms so that you could control a little bit more of your destiny, your distribution, and all that money coming in goes directly to you. Let's say you're only on Amazon. If you're only on Amazon, then you're going to get pennies on the dollar for 60 minutes worth of viewing. The return on Amazon has just got completely ridiculous unless people are staying and watching the movie all the way through to the end. Netflix, if you're not from a big production house and you decide to get lucky and they buy it, it'd be great, but chances are they would be paying you a flat fee of $30,000, $35,000, and they would retain all the rights in perpetuity. So you're not going to do anything with that film anytime in your lifetime. So, but it might open up doors because it'll get the reach is really far. So that's a good thing about Netflix. So many options to do, but you can't do anything unless you're making a movie. So start making the movie, lights, camera, action, and start filming.